Cammy hated Times Square. She would like be angry every time we had to walk through it, so it made me not want to go through it. Heading to our weekly breakfast meeting. We're late. We only have an hour, and we haven't met in like 2 or 3 weeks. We have a lot of stuff to cover. All right, thanks, Larry.
You guys take care.
I feel pretty like overwhelmed. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I feel like we're in survival mode with scheduling these birthdays.
We kind of came home and hit things with a bam.
Good morning. We just woke up from a nap. This New York transition is rough. I can't figure out what's going on. We make it to like 2 p.m. and then we like need a nap. It's crazy coming back and looking at my like packing list and my to-do list that 2 weeks ago was just a dream, and now we're back and we got to like most all these things. So we wanted to take a few minutes and just debrief the trip and what we learned from it and how much it costs and what we would do differently. I don't know where to start. Let's start with the simple things, the cost. The total cost for the trip was $6,388. The breakdown of that was $4,218 went to the apartment, the Airbnb, the lodging, which means that $2,170 went to everything else. And that's like everything. That's food, parking, subway, transportation, museum entrance, Cammy's massage, my full body scrub, getting my ass crack cleaned up. That was all of it, which actually is a lot cheaper than I expected for how much we actually got done. These are some of the things that we did. We went to Grand Central Station. We saw Casey Neistat's office. We walked across the Brooklyn Bridge. We went to Trinity Church and saw Alexander Hamilton's gravesite. We went to the library, Chinatown, Koreatown.
We went to Wall Street, went to the zoo, we went to the Bronx, we went to Queens. We did the Staten Island Ferry, we did the Statue of Liberty, Central Park, 9/11 Memorial and Museum. We rode the subway lots of times, had lots of pizza, went to some Jewish delis, and went to Stumptown.
The main thing that we didn't do that I kind of wanted to do was to take a taxi ride or an Uber. Like that was something that seemed really New York-ish to me. But because of the size of our group, with 10 people with my parents or 8 people without my parents, there just wasn't like an easy way to all fit into one vehicle. So it never made sense with the subway. There's some things I would probably do a little bit differently. New York, like apartments were really expensive. Which actually, you know, $400 a night for a house, a 3-bedroom house, isn't that bad. But the size of our house was really small, and when I was choosing places, I prioritized the location over the comfort of the house. I think if I had to do it over again, I would choose a more comfortable house without a prime location, because in a way, the subway makes all locations kind of equal. And we stayed close to Times Square because I was thinking, oh, Times Square is going to be awesome. I really enjoyed it in the past. And being 2 blocks away means we're gonna hang out there all the time. That was not the case. Cammy hated Times Square. She would like be angry every time we had to walk through it, so it made me not want to go through it.
Well, it's usually late at night and I'm like, I don't think I already don't really like it, but it was late at night and I'm already like, okay, I'm so done walking through crowds of people.
So I wish we would have got a bigger, nicer place and not really cared as much exactly what it's next to. The other thing I wish we did more of was more experiences. We did this boat rowing in Central Park. That was $15 a boat. So it was $45 for an hour for all 10 of us to have this super memorable, hands-on.
It started raining, so of course you remember it way more because of that.
This like little adventure thing. Things that kids can like touch and feel, I think that they're gonna remember more. They don't care about seeing things. Like seeing the Statue of Liberty, that cost a lot of money and took a lot of time, and we were all really drained afterwards, and I don't think we really learned anything. So that's one of my biggest regrets. I don't think we'd do that again. There was this other time when we're like walking through Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Promenade, and there was this roller skating rink right on this pier, and we didn't have time to do it, but that's the type of thing, I wish we would have done that. Like roller skating in Brooklyn. I think kids will remember that type of thing. Yeah. And it didn't cost that much. So more experiences, and just remembering looking at things is not an experience for kids. I kind of wish we would have not watched all the documentaries, or at least had more time. Maybe that was the way around that, is more time. Because I feel like we could have used a little bit slower pace with a few more rest days.
Yeah.
But that one's tough, because that was kind of like the whole goal, or at least inciting incident of our trip, was watching these documentaries.
I think if we had a few more buffer days where we didn't have to watch the documentary, it would have felt better. It would have felt incomplete if we didn't watch all the documentary for me.
So that was that. And this was a trip 13 years in the making. It's funny, the cost wasn't like super high, but it was this question of always like, would it be worth it? And finally, we were looking for a way to spend this money. We take 10% of our money and set it aside, and this is money that oftentimes we give away, and sometimes we use it to celebrate God's goodness with our kids. And this was a time and a way that we felt would be appropriate to spend that, so we did. And it's crossed off our bucket list, and I don't know. We're still taking naps trying to recover from it, but I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, me too.
And now it's 91 degrees out, and it's 4 o'clock, which means we're supposed to go for a run. We're at 2 miles in. I actually feel really good. I was kind of worried. Filia! No more water park for the year.
This run is kicking my butt. I feel pretty winded. It's still pretty hot. Haven't ran in like 2.5 weeks. Don't think I drank enough water today, so I'm having bladder issues. Funny enough, I still don't regret being out here. My mind is rebelling against me. It's telling me to stop. No.
Listen, you're doing so good. It's a very hot day. We're almost home. Oh, it was great. It was awesome. Good seeing you.
We did 4 miles. That was hard. I don't do so good in the heat, but we have to start back up somehow, some way. I think I'm glad I did it.
We had dinner at my parents' house, and now Cami and I are going out. I own some shares of this business, and one of my duties is to elect board members or vote on board members. And we have a vote coming up, but there's this guy that I haven't met who's gonna be like maybe on the board. So tonight I have to go meet him for the first time. That's why I'm dressed in my fancy business outfit here. And this is my date.
Hello. Did you bring the cigars? This date isn't gonna work without cigars. While Ben's in his meeting, I am gonna kill some time and go shopping. I always go right back to the sale rack. but I have so many kids that I don't know who to focus on. It can get a little overwhelming. No one really needs anything right now, but I just want to look around. I don't know if this happens to you, but I will pick out a few things, even like really cheap things, and then after a few minutes when I'm ready to go, I'm like, I don't really want to buy these things. So I just put them back and I walk out the door. And I usually don't regret that. There's these pants at the Gap for Filia for $2. And I realized like I was more just buying them because they were $2 than because she actually needed those pants. I'm gonna go into Whole Foods and get a few groceries. I didn't plan this very well. I want to go to Old Navy, but I got this big bag here. I'd have to walk all the way back there to get rid of it. I'm just gonna carry it. Found some cute things I sort of needed for Rainier and Filia. Wasn't strong enough to say no to the store. And now I'm gonna walk back to the car to drop this stuff off and then meet Ben. The bottom of my bag is starting to bust. Hopefully it won't go all over the street here. Oh, okay. That felt like a ways. Whoa. Last stop, REI. We got some upcoming adventure trips that I want to look for some stuff we need. Hey, hey, hey. Fancy meeting you here.
Hey, you come here often?
I thought about jumping into it and doing the long run, but maybe we should jump into it and do the short run. Or the no run. Or the smoking run.